Welcome back, everybody. Todd Huey here with Lone Star Boars, Huey Outdoors. We're going to talk about something that is so awesome that without it, I don't even want to go out. In fact, during the testing phase of this and working on it, they spent a lot of time. They talked to a lot of people. They took input from myself, several people that do hunt hogs and coyotes professionally and are going out almost every night and have a lot of experience. And they took input from all of us and made this system very awesome. And there was times where I'd have to send it in to have updates or have new stuff added or stuff taken away, whatever it was. And after having this, I'd go out and it was missed. I was so spoiled that I'm like, I'm just gonna wait until I get it back. And it doesn't seem like it. So when I tell you what it is, and you're gonna think, because at least this is what I thought, and several people have thought that I explained to tell them about it. It's a nice thing. It would be nice to have, but it's not that big a deal, is it? Well, after you've actually used it, I hope I can convey how awesome these are. But everybody that I've taken out with me after using it has said, I have to have one of these because it's a game changer. And they are a game changer. And what I'm talking about is thermal pan tilt zoom, thermal pan PTZs. This one is brand new. It's the Dark 30 Defiance. It's a 640, 60 hertz thermal pan tilt. In fact, I have this one hooked up to the power here. If you look, I have the remote control. Pans left and right. You'll see the little lens here, tilts up and down, and then there's a zoom control on the remote control. So you have all your controls here, a little joystick for that, zoom, you can change color palettes. This one even has video recording and audio. So there's a SD card slot right here. You can put your SD card slot, it records straight to that. You get your audio and your video recorded. There is picture in picture, there's zoom, there's multiple color palettes. There is which doesn't sound like a big thing, but when we'll show you the screen here in a minute, it'll pop up on here somewhere. There's a directional. So if this turns over here to the right, there's an arrow on your screen that turns with it and lets you know that it's pointing that way or backwards. That doesn't sound like much, but I've used units in the past that do not have that feature. And when you're driving around and looking for stuff, searching for, if you're search and rescue or police or a hunter and you're looking for stuff, you can get totally turned around and not. That is a huge feature to have on there, letting you know which way it is pointing. Also, being up on top of the vehicle, it doesn't sound like much. I mean, even if it's just a foot above you, every inch so I'm kind of joking here somewhere, but every extra inch gives you an advantage, because when I'm looking from here and I have my night vision and my thermal on and I look out the window over here and I look, there's been so many times that I'll have this looked over there and on the screen I see a hog or a coyote, but I'm looking out the window and I don't see anything because I'm lower. They're either behind a fence, they're behind a hill, or they're in a little low area. The elevation up above you gives you an advantage, just like being in a deer blind. Every little bit extra helps give you an extra advantage to see over and into low areas and over high areas. The other thing is, I mean, thermal cannot see through glass. So if you're driving in a vehicle, in a truck, a lot of us hunt in trucks here in Texas and other spots. It's perfectly legal to hunt coyotes and hogs out of a vehicle on private property. Thermal can't see through the windshield. So when you're using a thermal monocular, you only see out this window here. You can see out your window, or you have to lean out and look, or you have to get out and stand up and look around. But you can't stop. Well, you can stop every 5 minutes. In the wintertime, you're freezing your rear off because you're holding out. Your arm gets tired. Doesn't sound like it because they don't weigh that much. But when you hold it for several hours, your arm gets tired holding it around. You got mosquitoes coming in the summertime. You're hot because the windows are down. Or if it's raining, you're getting soaking wet. You don't have to do that. Now everything, you roll up your windows, drive around in comfort, see a lot farther, see a clear image, and it is just, I can't explain how much of an advantage it is. I would give up the drones, thermal monoculars. I would get this before I got any of it. Obviously, you need a weapon sight because you have to be able to shoot. But other than a weapon sight, I would trade everything that I had and use one of these. In fact, like I said, I would stay home after using it and not have it anymore, it's depressing to go out without it because I'm so spoiled by it. What comes in this system, and these, at the time of this video, this is first news. This is when information is being released. They're going to be on pre-order. There's only going to be a few dealers that get these. Huey Outdoors, which is my shop, is going to be one of the dealers. As far as I know, there's only going to be 40 units at the first. As of it, they will start shipping in a week to 2 weeks from the release of this video, and then there'll be another shipment come in a few weeks after that. So we will be taking pre-orders. There will be a link in the description where you can go in, first come, first serve. Like I said, 40 for all the dealers for the first shipment. So I'd say the first 10 people will probably be on the first shipment, and after that, you're going to have another 2 weeks to wait. They're going to be $6,499. I know there's always going to be people comment, but that is a hell of a deal for what you're getting in this unit. This is what you're going to get straight out of the box. The unit here, again, 640, 60 hertz, 32 millimeter lens, 30 millimeter focal length. It pans, it tilts, it zooms. These are magnetic mounts. So if you have like I have a Toyota Tundra, a Dodge Ram, a Chevy, whatever, if it's a steel vehicle, this will go straight down onto it, and it's actually hard to get off once you put it on there. If you drive a Ford, which is aluminum, or you have a side-by-side UTV, something like that, it comes with suction cups mounts that are actually really sticky by themselves, and then you flip this lever, create suction, and it will hold on. We actually use these. I went down with Brazos Valley Boars and Nocturnal Solutions, and we took out Nocturnal Solutions, I think it was F350 or F250 aluminum, brand new, and we went down through some bumpy roads down there through the cornfields at College Station, and it worked wonderful. In fact, that's another, those guys, when I took it out with them, they were kind of like, oh, that's neat. And 30 minutes into it, they were both, we have to have one of these. That's how much of a game changer it is. If you have any experience doing this, after you use it, you will not want to be without it. In the box, you have those suction cup mounts, the magnetic mounts, you have the screen, you have a suction cup to mount your screen, and a control arm that comes out to mount your screen to the window. I actually have a ram mount. I drilled holes into my dash on my Tundra and have a ram mount where my screen is hard mounted in. So I don't have the screen here right now, but one of the features of this is it has Wi-Fi. So here's my iPad. You download the Dart 30 app, hit connect, and now here's the remote. You can see it straight there. It will go to your iPad, your tablets, your Androids. It's on the Apple Store, and then the whatever y'all use on the Android stuff. It's in both sections. You can also control it from your phone or your iPad or your tablet, whatever. You have full control, pan, tilt, zoom. It has onboard video and audio recording. There on the front of the unit here, there's a slot where you put an SD card in and then you close it. It's waterproof. I've left this on my truck for months now, and it's been through rain, highway speeds, everything is fine. It is sealed. You can record on the screen, or you can hit record on the remote, or if you're using an iPad or an iPhone or an Android, you can do screen recording. So there's multiple ways to record. If you do the screen recording, you won't get the audio. Now, of course, if you're driving down the road, you're going to have all the wind noise, but when you stop, the audio is actually surprisingly good. There's a video clip, I'll put it up here somewhere, where there's pigs out about 700 yards. I turn the camera on them, hit record, I walk out, you see me walk out. The audio at 500 to 700 yards was pretty amazing. Suppressed rifle goes off, you hear the pop of the rifle, you hear the bullet flight, and then you hear the thud on the pigs, and the pigs start squealing and go down. The audio, even at that range, was I thought really good. So there's extra possibilities for recording your hunts and sharing them with your friends or on social media if you want to do all that. As far as accessories go, you have these little blocks. As you can see, this is the standard unit as it comes out of the box. This one sits significantly higher. That is for, like we talked about, even just mounting it on top of your truck, just that little bit extra elevation gives you a huge advantage of being able to see out and see over fences, into low areas, or over obstacles. Each one of these little sections you add, it doesn't look like much, but gives you an advantage. What I found, there's only 2 of these here, but 3, if you're using the suction cup or magnetic bases on a steel or aluminum truck, with 3 of these, it works fine. It's still stable. Once you get to 4 and more, it starts getting a little tall, and the top of the truck will start to wobble a little bit, and you'll have some flex there. On mine, I have a roof rack. I have this plate. It's a locking plate. It was designed for motorcycles, but I welded the other part of it to the roof rack. My roof rack is actually welded and bolted to my truck, so it's not coming off unless you cut it off. This has a lock. I'm able to put it on, lock it on there, and it's very stable. I've gone up to 7 of these extensions and gone 80, 90 miles down the highway, and it's still, there's no wobbling. That is something you'll see it here in the videos when you are driving. If you're on a thin metal sheet on your roof, there is some wobble when you hit bumps. It looks worse on the screen when you're watching it here because you're not moving. In the actual vehicle, when you're hitting the bumps and the whole vehicle's moving, the screen's moving, everything's moving, you're moving with it, it's not near as noticeable. So the movement and the shaking is way more noticeable when you're sitting at your computer screen or on your phone and you're not moving and you see it. Actually using the unit, it's not near the amount of movement that you've seen. But if you keep it down at 3 or below, you'll minimize that. If you hard mount it to something, a plate, there are, I know for the Ford vehicles being aluminum, where your third brake light is, you can take your third brake light off. There's companies that offer a plate that'll go in there. You put your brake light back on, you have your plate. I think they're offering them. It's not Dark 30. It's a separate camera, or it's a separate company. I'll try to put the link in the description if I can find it, but it's for like Go lights, these, anything that you're going to put up there that, because these aluminum forged, the magnets don't work. And the suction cups, while they work, I don't know about trusting at highway speeds. We did it, but I was nervous with them up there. It held, but how long, it starts raining, one pops off. I would get one of those mounts. Plus, those mounts, when they're mounted in, you have a lot less flex and it's a much more stable image. But it is perfectly good like this. It's very usable. That's how I used it for months. I just recently hard mounted mine, and it is a more stable image, but it totally usable if you just want to use this mounted on there. Being able to use the screen like this, you can use the screen that's mounted and the Wi-Fi at the same time. So if somebody in the back seat doesn't want to lean over and look at the screen, they can just get the app on their phone or whatever and look at it, and they can sit back there and see everything you're seeing. They can even control it, which is very nice when everybody's driving around and you're trying to figure out a game plan. It's no problem at all to see stuff 1,000 yards away with these. I've spotted pigs, and a lot of times I'm driving with my headlights on now. I'm not even using my night vision because I can spot them far enough away that it doesn't matter, and I can make a game plan and then switch off my lights. I take my son out. My in-laws have just a Kawasaki mule, nothing fancy, plastic top. Take the suction cups, and I use a ratchet strap and strap it down. We drive with the headlights on, and have this up, and we spot stuff and then get out and walk up to it. These are a game changer. I know there's you can there's all kind of things that you can use this for. You could take this, you could get you a deep cycle battery, put it in your stand, put it up on top of your stand, run the cable to it, and run it off and be able to sit in your stand with the heater on, not having to look up, scan around. Home security, office security. If you could get longer cables, it just takes an HDMI, and I forget what the power plug is, but it's a common plug. Get longer cables, run it up on a pole outside your office or your home, and now you have a home security system where you can see, defeat camouflage, see day or night, and use that. So there are a lot of options for these. Search and rescue, police departments, hunting is what I use it for. Uh, Again, these are on pre-order now. The first units will start shipping in a week to 2 weeks, and then they'll slowly start coming in after that. We're still running. If you buy it, we're doing the no sales tax Huey Outdoors. There's a link in the description. No sales tax, free shipping, and we're still doing every thermal you buy. This is part of it. Is we're going to do a drawing from all the orders placed for thermals or night vision throughout the 2024 year. In January 2025, we're going to do a drawing to come out and do a hog hunt with me. All you have to do is get here. Everything else is taken care of. If you want to bring your gear, you can. If you want to use mine, you can. But we'll go out, we'll film it, we'll put it on YouTube. It'll be a great time. In fact, if it goes well, I think I'm going to choose more than one. Originally, I was just going to choose one. So hopefully we don't get some asshole on the first trip and make me not want to do it anymore. Hopefully it'll be somebody that wins, that's fun, and maybe we'll do a couple of them. But one for sure, one customer will get drawn to do that hunt. So good luck in that. Go to the description. You'll see them. They're $64.99, and it's a game changer. I would invest in this especially if you hunt out of a vehicle. This is I would invest in this before I would get a cheaper monocular and spend the money on this over getting a fancy monocular and not having this any day of the week. In fact, I would invest in this before having a monocular for the way that I hunt. Again, if I didn't talk about it, I can't remember now, but I also use this. This keeps me awake at night. There's times when I start getting tired, just having to concentrate on using the remote, looking at the screen, trying to find stuff. I start getting tired. It gives me something and I can go for another couple of hours where I would have been maybe done. Also, just driving down the road, heavy fog, you can't see very far with your headlights. This cuts through it. I can turn it on. I can see through rain and fog. There was a time where I was driving the backwoods of East Texas. Why? It was 2 o'clock in the morning. A guy was out on a 10-speed wearing all black, no reflectors on the 10-speed. It was foggy. I spotted him with this. He was in the middle of the road, riding away from me. I couldn't see him. He didn't exist to my eyes or in the headlights. I saw him well over 100 yards before I ever got. At first, I didn't know what it was. I was trying to figure out what it was. As I got closer, then I realized if I had just been going along with no reflectors or anything, there's a good chance I would have hit the guy. I mean, it was back. There's no lights. East Texas, piney woods, dark. So probably saved his life. But there's so many uses for this thing. I highly recommend it. It is one of my most favorite tools, and I just don't think I can do it justice. I've done the best that I can to tell you how awesome they are. Again, comment below. Thanks for watching. If you haven't, please subscribe. It's hunting season now, starting to cool off. The videos are going to start popping out. We're going to start doing a lot more videos a lot more frequently. Thanks for watching.